Community Hotline. My name is Monica Weitzel, and we're here in Gresham at MetroEast Community Media. Tonight, we're going to be talking with 3 different organizations that are doing good things in your community. And to start off, we're going to be talking with Friends of Nadaka. And representing Friends of Nadaka, we have Lee Dayfield, who is the project coordinator, the brains and idea woman behind the whole project. Thanks for being here, Lee. It's good to see you again.
Thank you.
And Jane Van Dyke, you're the executive director of the Columbia Slough Watershed Council. And we'll talk to you a little bit and find out how this all interconnects. But thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Friends of Nadaka. Nadaka has, what has it been? 3 years has it been since you first started?
I've been volunteering.
You've been involved a long time.
But the project that we're talking about tonight is about 3 years old since we acquired the 2 acres next to the forest.
So I know a lot of people in this area know about Nadaka, but there's bound to be some people that haven't heard yet, and that's their loss. So could you give me like a little brief synopsis of what this is and how it came about?
Yes.
And what your mission is?
Medaka is started out to be a 10-acre forest, and it was an old campfire girls camp for about 40 years. And then about 3 years ago, we raised grant funds to acquire 2 acres on the south end of Medaka that we plan to have a big development of community gardens and nature-based play area.
I was going to say, not a development of houses or buildings or anything else.
No.
And this is right in an urban area.
Yes, it's right on about 175th between Northeast Gleason and Northeast Pacific. The development is in a 2-acre site right next to St. Aidan's Episcopal Church. So
you've accomplished a lot in that amount of time. I mean, every time I go on Facebook, there's always something going on in Dhaka, or you've had something, some people out there working on it or doing something new. You keep moving forward. So what have you accomplished in those last 3 years? Just like bullet point.
Bullet.
Yeah. No pressure.
We've raised close to $1 million to do this development. Some state parks funds, about $500,000, and some money from Metro, and also East Multnomah Soil and Water Conservation District. And I must say, I could not have done any of this without the help of the Columbia Slough Watershed Council, as well as the Audubon Society, because they've been instrumental in helping with these grants. And we've been organizing cleanups and walks in the park, and
it's getting quite a bit of use, isn't it?
Yes.
Good. So while she had that nice segue for you, Jane, tell me how the Columbia Slough Watershed Council is involved. What is it that you do that helps out Medaka?
Well, the Watershed Council is a community-based nonprofit working throughout the watershed, which is that geographic region that starts in North Portland, Northeast Portland, and includes Gresham and Fairview, and all the water that drops within that region flows to the Columbia Slough. So that's how we define the area that we work in. And We have a really active youth education program, and we have a very active restoration program, but we're also very interested in recreation, getting people outdoors, and part of our mission we see as working on local parks projects, because we've had the opportunity to partner both with the Friends of Nadaka and also with a project in the city of Portland called Cully Park. And they're both really great, just that connection between getting the community involved. It's not just the Parks Department or the government agencies building, but it's really building the community to get people to not only know about, hey, there's a park happening in our neighborhood and we can walk to it and hopefully have a lot of great memories there, but to learn all the different processes, be involved in the, we had, I think, 3 or 4 different workshop type sessions where we invited community members in from different organizations to help us design the park.
That's great.
Yeah, the city of Gresham had done a real simple master plan, but it was,
the community said, no, we want something more.
Want something more, and want some different elements that wasn't included in that kind of, and it was a very basic plan. And so this one took the community's input to things we wanted, and the picnic shelter, I think, is a really best example that we really heard from the community, that we have families and we want to come, and it rains in Oregon, and so
it does.
We want a shelter, and we worked very hard with the city of Gresham and the other partners to see how that would work. And like, for example, it's going to have lights that go on, so by motion that would be safe for people, and it's on it's on the Gleason side, so it's easy to see. And then we've made some as we've developed the features of the park, what going to look like a trail or a path. It's going to be permeable paved.
Easy for you to say. Huh?
I know. And but it'll be heavy enough to support a fire engine if there's any need for emergencies, and also to support any police cars if they need to come in. So it will be a park that will be safe and also a great place to go.
And don't you think that people are more bound to use it if they feel invested in it like that? They've actually put their input into it, and it becomes more a part of the community rather than just something that was given to them. You brought some pictures. I think we had kind of a blueprint almost. A diagram, thank you. A diagram of Medaka. So maybe we can take a look at that, and you can show us what's there now and what you have planned.
Okay.
So here we are.
This is the master plan for the 2 acres, and it shows a very large nature-based play area, and there'll be a community garden for at least 40 families to grow their own vegetables. It'll be the largest community garden that the city of Gresham owns, and this will also be the first nature-based play area that the city of Gresham has.
Really?
And we'll have a covered picnic shelter there in the front towards Gleason, and also restrooms, and we'll have hopefully a meadow with flowers in it, and it will open right into the 10 acres of forest.
So you have all that natural area, and there's so many people don't even know that it exists.
That's right.
Right there in their own neighborhood. But how great for the kids too in the neighborhood to grow up. You always hear about kids that don't know that French fries come from a potato, that kind of thing. But with a community garden, that's a really good opportunity for them. And
we have a lot of partners. St. Aidan's Church that Lee mentioned is right next door, and so we're hoping to work with them as the park gets built to offer kitchen cooking type classes, because they have a large enough kitchen that a lot of people can work in. Take the produce and what you've grown and learn what to do with it.
Yeah. This is a picture of some of the trees that were recently taken down, the Doug firs. There's laminated root rot in the forest, and these logs will be cut up and actually used in the nature-based play area for stepping stones, and we'll have some poles
Waste
there.
Nothing.
No.
I like that. That's great. It'll be such a nice addition for the neighborhood for the kids.
Yes, it will.
So they have the play area coming up. They've got the community gardens, and how do they decide who gets a plot in the community garden? Is that going to be like a drawing or something, or do you have any idea how that's going to happen?
Adam Cole from Outgrowing Hunger is going to be managing the community garden, and we've already gotten a number of people that have shown interest in having a plot there. And we're not, so I've never organized a community garden before.
But he has?
He has.
Perfect.
He now
Community
runs.
partners.
Yes,
That's
he
what you
now
need.
runs the City of Gresham's community
Oh,
gardens and has
perfect.
done some
So-
independent of that as well.
Perfect.
So this is a 2-acre site that's going to be developed, and that gives you an idea of, in the background you can see the people that are working on the community garden where we have sheet mulched about half of it.
You get a lot of groups working on there, in all sorts of groups.
Yes,
Kids
yes.
and older people and everyone in between.
This is a photograph of Candace that was a campfire girl back in the day, and we recently did a walk and talk tour through Nadaka, and she brought the vest and told stories about what it was like. This is right next to the campfire kiosk.
That's great. I was going to ask you if any of the, former campfire.
Oh,
yeah.
girls ever
There
show
are a
up.
lot of
Are there a
them.
lot of them, really?
And they're very happy about
Oh, I'm sure
seeing
they're
it
delighted.
be made into a park. And I mean,
Yeah.
the forest, the 10-acre forest is really nice, but it has its, I guess, its positive things, just in terms of, but it would be great to see a more active side of the park too. So kind of
Yeah.
getting both sides of people who just want to
People that want the nature and
what
just,
Yes.
nature, but and then also for people who who do live in the urban area, they're maybe not so willing to go even in a small forested area. So the two smaller part of the park will be a great entryway into that, and kind of the trail will kind of lead into
They'll
that.
work their way into
and work
it.
their way into it. So we're hoping you'll make the connection.
This is one of my favorite photographs, of
So-
which I
so
have
tell
many.
us what we're looking at, Lee. I'm sure you do.
On Wednesdays, we go over to Medaka with the H.B. Lee Middle School Sun students, and one day it was so hot, and we were just sitting there resting on these rocks, and so I said, well, why don't we make hobbit houses?
Oh, how fun.
So they made, oh gosh, about 8 of them, and they were just really very creative.
And what
Yeah.
kid wouldn't love that?
Yeah.
And just to get your hands dirty and get out.
Yeah.
And these are some students from the Portland Adventist Academy that came out and were removing some of the many weeds from the community garden that has been sheet mulched.
So if there is a group out there that is looking for some volunteer work
Oh.
to do, you might be
There-
willing to find something for them?
We might.
Yes,
I mean, because I'm
Yes.
sure it's an ongoing
it is
project, yeah.
ongoing. And we have tools and gloves, and
Perfect.
I'm always happy to take any group
Oh,
out
look
there.
how beautiful that is.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
this is a summer. This is what it looks like now.
Oh,
It's
just
also beautiful in the fall. It's beautiful when it snows in there, when the fog comes in the morning. It's just
I get the feeling you like it there.
it's just a magical place.
Oh, and
This
you have to talk about this.
so the larger turtle and the next size turtle are 2 of the things left over from the campfire girls. And so the H.B. Lee Middle School students, I said, well, why don't we collect some rocks from the park and you all can paint turtles on them.
Oh, how cute.
So they took them back to school and
painted them
and
brought
painted
back.
them, and they were very, very creative.
how fun.
And I said one day we may just have a whole sea of baby
That
turtles
would be
here.
adorable. That would be great. Now, okay, go ahead and tell me what this is. And I
So
don't-
this is part of when we were doing the walk and talk, and we were telling people about the invasive and native plants that are in Nadaka, and we did the story about the campfire girls, and then Jessie was also telling people about the edible plants that are in Nadaka.
Great learning experiences here.
Yeah. Lots of opportunities. So we have a couple upcoming events happening. So we have our annual Medaka Festival, which is going to take place in the end of September, September 27th, right?
Oh, good.
And it will be a great time for people to come out, see the work that will be underway at the park, because the main construction should begin this summer, and don't think it'll be quite finished by September, but people can see
You'll have an
that,
idea
and
of
we'll
how
have
it's going.
music, and people will be able to see the different features and get a good idea of what it's going to look like.
We're almost out of time, so tell me, Lee, about the groundbreaking.
Yes. The groundbreaking will be Wednesday, July 9th at 6:30 in the evening, and we're going to have bubbles for any children that come.
Oh, fun. That sounds
and
good.
cupcakes.
Oh, nice.
So that's the most important thing.
So anybody, that's great. So this will be the groundbreaking to go on and keep further making this a wonderful place in your
Yes.
community. That's
Yes.
great. So if people have any questions about it, they can go to your Facebook page,
Yes.
or they can go to
the
friendsofnadaka.org
website.
website.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Thank you both for being on here. I appreciate it. And I'll see if I can get there on September 27th.
Oh, please do.
I like cupcakes.
Or July 9th.
Or July 9th. Oh,
That's
that's it.
July
Yeah,
9th,
actually,
yes.
I've got that on my calendar. Thanks so much. And keep doing the good work you're doing.
Oh, thank you.
And we'll have more titles for you next time.
Thanks so much for having us.
Thank
Yes,
you.
it's-
Thanks for watching this first segment of Community Hotline. As you can see, there's a lot going on in East County. Don't go away. We have more coming up, and we'll be right back.
As you know, we could just go on and on.
What local community media is to us is literally our lifeline to what's going on in the lives around us.
The absolute most important thing that happens in your neighborhood.
People's local communities are usually what's most important to them.
Because we're the faces, the smiles, the peoples, and the personalities of the community.
To not only give people a voice, but to have their voice heard.